For as long as I've been doing photography, I've been editing photos on my computer at my desk. And that poses a few problems. Whenever I want to travel and do travel style photography, I usually have to wait until I get back to my desk to start organizing files, getting things off my SD cards, editing all the photos and distributing them on social media or printing them, whatever I want to do with them. Having to wait just kind of till I get back home just kind of slows down the process, and it means that I have to organize and edit and do everything all at once. And so I end up getting hit with this massive catalog of photos that I just have to go through right away after a trip, and that's really not nearly as much fun. It gets to be really boring and tedious to have to go through all these files after going on a fun photography trip. Now, I do have a laptop, so I could bring it with me, but it's just not very convenient. For my recent trip into the Rocky Mountains in Colorado, I actually brought my phone with me and used that as my photo management device. During that trip, I would always offload all my photos at the end of every day onto my phone and organize them at the end of each day. So that means when I got home from that trip, I had everything organized and I had started kind of bringing things into Lightroom and editing, so there wasn't as much work to do all in one big chunk. I was able to kind of eat away at it, and especially in small chunks during travel when there's lots of downtime, for example, on a flight or in car rides, anytime you're commuting, there's just a lot of time there that I'd want to spend that time photo editing and going through photos I just took a couple hours ago. And I was doing that on my phone during that trip, but it just didn't really work quite very well because the screen size, it wasn't really big enough to manage files, and it wasn't nearly big enough to display the photo and the sidebar I needed to show my editing controls in Lightroom to really comfortably edit photos. In my laptop, it's too large, so it's not portable enough, and it's functional, but my phone is portable but not as functional, and so I needed something in between. And so my solution to this problem was a few months ago, I actually sold off my old G85 Lumix camera, and so I just wasn't really using it, so I sold that off and I bought myself this iPad mini and a case and the pencil, and so that's what I've been using to edit photos and manage photos over the last couple of months. And there's a couple things that specifically make this a great option for me. The sling bag that I really like to use fits this specific iPad mini perfectly without any cost to space. It's not like I can bring less lenses or camera bodies or anything accessory-wise for my camera gear. I'm still able to fit the same amount of stuff in there. I just put my iPad in and it fits in a little side section of the bag, and that is perfect because I can take it with me without any cost of space in my bag. So it's equally as portable as my phone in that regard, and it's not nearly as heavy and clunky as my laptop in terms of bringing it with me. So the next thing that really drew me to an iPad as a photo editing device and has made this device better than my phone or my laptop is the screen size, and it sits perfectly in between the two. So if you have access to a larger desktop monitor or your laptop, it can be nice to edit in a more spacious environment that way. You have a much more comfortable amount of screen real estate to work with. And yeah, the screen size, it's good enough to comfortably edit photos in Lightroom. So the next thing is the stylus, and one of my other problems with using my phone is that there wasn't a very easy way, because using a touchscreen and dragging your fingers around, especially on such a small cramped menu system as what was on my phone for Lightroom, it just did not work very well. So having a stylus like the Apple Pencil is super helpful for photo editing. If you're left-handed like I am, right-handed editing is the default in Lightroom, so if you're in Lightroom, your menu bar will be on the right side. I was able to actually switch it over to the left, which I did not know until I saw it in the settings, and that is super helpful. So if you are left-handed like I am, then that's definitely something you'll want to change in Lightroom. So what does it actually look like in a travel workflow? Well, for me, I mainly use it to organize my photos. So at the end of each day, I dump my photos onto here during the trip, and everything goes right into the file system on my iPad, and I'll organize everything from there. So everything will go into folders organized by day, and all of it will be in one trip. And then once I start kind of going through them and deleting all the ones I don't want, I'm left with just the photos that I actually want to edit and keep, and so I'll bring those into Lightroom with a similar album organized structure. I'll have a folder of albums and an album for each day of the trip, and I'll bring those all into those albums, and I'll start editing and going through and editing every photo in Lightroom. And once I'm finished editing them, they're ready for distribution. I can export them out, I can make prints, put them on social media, use them for videos like this. And so this just ends up being the perfect in-between device for me. And so that's my travel photo editing solution. So if you're looking for a perfect companion device if for your travel photography, then this is what I would recommend. The newest iPad mini. Pick up an Apple Pencil, get a case that fits your needs, and I think that that's really the greatest solution for photo editing, at least for me when I'm traveling. So if you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like. I would really appreciate it, and it supports the channel. Thank you. Otherwise, that's all I have for you today, so happy shooting.